Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Ganganapate Namaha Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita Namaste say, namaste say, namaste say, namo namaha. Om namo narayanaaya. Om gunatita aksharam brahma bhagavan purushottamah. Jano janandidam satyam uchyate. Bhava bandhanat. Om bhagavate Shri Swaminarayanaya namaha. Shri Lakshmi Narayanaya namaha. Shri Radha Krishnaya namo namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumate namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 19th of November 2024. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the heart of every single being. We're continuing to examine the three big concepts in Advaita Vedanta, that is Paramarthika Satyam, Pratibhasika Satyam, and Vyavaharika Satyam. These are very, very central ideas in Advaita. Please remember that the word Advaita means non-dual, one. Only one, not two. Dvaita means two. Vishishtadvaita means qualified non-dualism. It is still Advaita, but it has a qualification to it, which we will talk about some other time, perhaps in more detail. I've kind of mentioned it on and off here and there. And then there is the expansion of Vishishtadvaita that Bhagavan Swaminarayan has put. It's called Panchbhed. इसको पंचभेद कहते हैं जीव ईश्वर महामाया अक्षर ब्रह्म parabrahma. This is called Panchbhed. So in the new publication on Swaminarayan Spirituality Volume 1, there is some discussion about this. Not too much discussion, but there is some discussion about it there. So, but it is, all of this is based on Shankaracharyaji's interpretations. And Shankaracharyaji's interpretations are based on the Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishad. So that's the link. That's the historical link. It's very beautiful. Please keep in mind that nobody is wrong. It is a matter of perspective and level of realization. Perhaps also the need in the society at that time. And also what we call darshan. हमारी जो संस्कृति है, इसको हम darshan कहते हैं. Darshan Shastra is not intellectualization. It is darshan. Rishis have seen the tattva, and then they have use the intellect to express the tattva. That's the difference. In Western philosophy, it's just the intellect that is being used. So Plato and Socrates and Leibniz and Kant and बहुत कुछ हो गए. वो भी, they're amazing people. उनको बहुत pranam and respect. I have a lot of affection for Western philosophy, as you may know. But at the same time, most of it is an intellectual exercise. Some of the Western philosophers were devoted to God. The more religious philosophers, they were Christians or Jewish. There's the philosophers who are in the three Abrahamic traditions. So they have that more religious angle to it, or they have that religious kind of darshan. Maybe we can call that darshan also. Why not? Absolutely. So that is something very wonderful, that when teachings are given out of vision, out of seeing the tattva meaning the reality, and then the teaching is given, that is called let's see, what is that? Shotriya. Vedanta में इसको Shotriya कहते हैं. Brahma-Nishta and Shotriya. Just want to mention these points here. Brahma-Nishta means one who has the Nishta, the firm conviction without any doubt that the Brahman is the only reality. This is called Brahma-Nishta. This is so a Satpurush being who is having this Nishta, this intense faith that the Brahman is real, that conviction is there, that is called Brahma-Nishta. And the other quality is Shotriya. Shotriya means the capacity to explain to the general public the path into the realization of the Brahman based on time and circumstance, place, language, culture, etc. That is called Shotriya. So individuals who are Brahma-Nishta and Shotriya, if they have both qualities, then they are very, very much able to transmit the actual pathway towards the moksha, towards the realization. Sometimes you have individuals who are very learned, but they're not Brahmanishta. That they have a lot of knowledge about these scriptures, and Sanskrit mein bahut, they have a lot of deep, analysis, and पर उसके जीवन में कुछ है नहीं. They have no bhakti, they have कुछ ज्ञान नहीं है ऐसा. Just a lot of information and analysis, abstract philosophy. So isko, I mean, they can do good for society. They're giving knowledge. Most of those people are in like philosophy departments and stuff like that. I mean, maybe they're enlightened. We cannot judge anybody, but it's an intellectual exercise for them. It's a profession for them. It's okay. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. It's all right. It's a good beginning, but they may not be Brahmanishta. And it's Brahmanishta, I mean, they're really, like, their life is resonating, brimming with like Vivekananda Swami is Shotriya and Brahmanishta. Both. Now you might have individuals who are Brahmanishta, but they are not really great expounders of the scriptures. They aise bhi ho gaye. They're just living in their own state. They may speak a little here and there, but they may give blessings to others who get activated to speak a lot. So for example, if you look at Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Vivekananda Swami, Ramakrishna Paramahansa did teach, he spoke, but not as much as Vivekananda Swami. So by the blessings of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Vivekananda Swami was able to pour out the Vedantic realization, Hindu Dharma, Sanatan Dharma. He poured it not at the level, not in the volume that Ramakrishna Paramahansa laid out, but the blessings are from Ramakrishna Paramahansa. The same in SWAMINARAYAN Sampradaya, same thing happened with Pujya Yogiji Maharaj. Yogiji Maharaj was, he had his own discourses and things like that, but he was lost in the Brahman, completely Brahma. But he gave blessings to many other sages, and they became extraordinary expounders of the scriptures. So many. He gave Diksha to 51 people. There's a lot of history in that. I won't go into all that here. I'm just trying to illustrate the example that you could have Brahma Swarup Sant, and in the more extreme level, they may not talk at all. Aisi bhi baat hai. That happened, as far as I know, in the life of Guru Dattatreya. Guru Dattatreya he spoke somewhat, but he didn't speak that much. He was like completely in that total oneness. And then whatever he spoke, that was just Avdut Gita. That was just pure Vedant. Every line is only Advaita. That's it. So very little is spoken, but it is like billion ton kind of power behind it. That is called Avdut Gita. So it's like that. And then you could have a variety of individuals along this continuum. You could have individuals who are just very scholarly and very knowledgeable. Thoda anubhav hai, thodi nishta hai, some experiences there. You could also have individuals who are just totally lost in nirvikalpa sthiti, and the body is maintained for some time. Usually they have shishyas that maintain the body of such a very evolved saint, because that saint can leave the body. They're not even living in the body at all. वो शरीर छोड़ देते हैं, कभी भी छोड़ सकते हैं. So they actually deliberately maintain the body, or prayers are there from their devotees so that the saint doesn't leave the body, so it can remain longer here in this dimension. So ऐसे भी बहुत incidents है in Sanatan Dharma, that the saints have reached such a high level that the body is like a, they're totally separate from the physical, subtle, causal. उसमें से बाहर निकल गए. Chaitanya, they're living in Brahman. It's amazing. And within short time, if they decide to leave the body aside, they can. In Vedras, see, this is Vedras, I'll show you. मैं आपको बताता हूँ. This is the scripture here. You can see it a little bit here. So I've made some. ये Vedras है. ये शास्त्र. It's in Gujarati. It's absolutely extraordinary. ये भगवान स्वामीनारायण का अंतर का रहस्य है. पूरा वेदांत और बहुत कुछ है इसमें. It's absolutely amazing. Someday, I don't know what is the will of the God. I don't know if we get to that somehow. But in one of the statements in there, is about how a Paramahansa leaves the body. It's so amazing that just as a snake sheds the skin, the snakes shed the skin and then they come out of that skin. In the same way, a Paramahansa can shed this body. Ye jo sharir, hamara jo sharir that we are holding on to as life and death and all that, they have gone completely out of that. वो शरीर स्वयं, ये जो शरीर है वो मानते नहीं कि मैं ये हूं, that I am this body. The body is that is a cover only. Vasanchi jirnani yatha vihaya, as the Gita says. It is just a cover. It is just a name and form that is given. That's not who I am at all. जब आत्मा का साक्षात्कार होता है, the आत्म तत्व begins to reveal itself, and it is the satyam. That is the paramarthika satyam. Paramarthika means the actual reality and not the apparent relative reality. So these analogies are given. Lots of Vedantic analogies are given. We talked about it yesterday about the gold ornaments and the gold itself. You can use the pot and the clay analogy. You can use the dream state, waking state versus the consciousness analogy. There's a lot of them actually. There's a lot of stuff in here that you can really get into. And it's something that is useful in the path of jnana. Jisko jnana marga pradhan hai. There are people like that, right? I don't know what the percentage. I don't think there's that many really. Percentage is low relatively. More people are on bhakti marg, which is actually good. वो अच्छा है. But people who are taken predominantly jnana marg, for them to separate, this pratibhasika satyam with paramarthika satyam, that is the whole ball game. You're living in the vyavarika world, in the relative world. Everybody lived in the relative world, the same relative world. Whether it is Shankaracharya ji, Ramanujacharya ji, Bhagwan Krishna, whether it is Jesus or anybody, all of us, we're all living in the same relative world. But they have been able to constantly realize that this relative world is like a bubble only. It doesn't have actual existence. That is what the word satyam means. Satyam means truth. What is actually, so there's two words. In English, this is called truth and being. Capital, with the B, with the B-E-I-N-G. In Western philosophy, there have been individuals who've talked about both of these. So it separates, it doesn't separate, but there's two words for it in Western philosophy. Truth, that is satyam, that is a Sanskrit equivalency. And being would be more like chit, C-I-T, chit. Chit meaning consciousness, the living force, essentially, being. So sat, chit. But then Vedanta also says ananda. Ananda meaning undifferentiated, pure joy beyond sukh dukh. Sukh dukh se par hai, ananda. Right? So this is sat, chit, ananda. And when we combine the three words together, Satchidananda, right? This is called Satchidananda. Satchidananda Rupaya, right? So this comes again and again. This word comes again and again and again because it is referring to the Paramarthika Satyam, the actual reality that is totally the undifferentiated real tattva. These other two, the Vyavarika and the Pratibhasika, these are superimpositions. They are created out of the power of Maya. The Nam and Rupa. It's a cosmic illusion. The word illusion means bhasyam. Means abhas. I'm trying to think of the right word here. Adhyas. That's the right word. Adhyas. Adhyas is the word. Adhyas means it is superimposition. That it is not the reality. For example, I have a red cup in my hand. You can see that on the screen here. See this? This red cup. So I'm calling it a cup with the color red. But when I see this, in my mind, the form is there and the cup is there. But in reality, there's nothing like the cup. The reality is this is made out of clay, let's say. It's been, through heat and everything, it's been formed into this shape. So this is I'm using it to drink the cup of coffee. That is Vyavarika Satyam. My belief that this is a cup is Pratibhasika Satyam. And the actual clay only, that is what it is the Paramarthika Satyam. You see, so the same cup is seen in three. It has a functionality because of the expression of the diversity. It has a reflection psychologically that this is a cup, that name is given, name and form, Nam Roop, right? The name and form is given. So, but I'm not seeing. I don't think of it as a clay. Nobody who sees this is going to say, well, I am buying a clod of clay. No, I'm buying a cup, and I have a nice expression and a feeling with that. So to awaken out of the reaction psychologically, that is Pratibhasika Satyam, even though the Pratibhasika Satyam has a connection with the Vyavarika Satyam for its functionality. I mean, in talking to people, I'm not going to talk to all of you and say I'm holding a piece of clay. He says, Sachin has lost his mind. What the heck are you talking about? This is a cup. People sitting in psychiatric hospitals that sometimes lose reality. It's true, actually. You can have psychiatric disorders where they lose touch with reality. They cannot name things. There's brain damage and all that. So we're not talking about that. So everything has its place, but there is an awakened state where one can perceive the reality as it is and not be caught inside the relative or the reflected levels of reality. That's the difference. Not be caught in that. I'll give you another very simple example, then we'll stop for this. It's very interesting. We think, take this election that just happened, right? This Democrats and Republicans in the United States and the history and so much money and back and forth ballots and all of that just happened is within the level of, which level is it? It is Vyavarika Satyam and the Pratibhasika Satyam. It is not the Paramarthika Satyam. There's really nothing like United States in reality. If you go in the mountains, like in the background, you can see, you go into the Smoky Mountains. Again, there's nothing like Smoky Mountain. There's nothing like the word smoky. These are our words we have created. When if Guru Dattatreya is walking in the United States, he's not thinking he's in the United States. We are constantly thinking, I'm in Delaware, I'm in the United States, I'm in Houston, I'm here. We cannot get that thing out of our mind. We are constantly stuck in this Pratibhasika Satyam. I'm a Hindu, I'm a Marathi, I'm this, I'm that. It's constant. It's endless, the number of divisions, and to awaken out of that is the essence of spiritual realization. But it's an awakening. It doesn't change the experience. No. If I'm sitting in Newark, Delaware, I still have that. But if the mind, through devotion, through jnana, through bhakti, etc., guru seva, whatever, all these different approaches, there is a jagruti, ek awakening hota hai कि ये सब नहीं है. This is the wrong idea inside. It's a reflection. There's nothing like Newark, Delaware. What is Newark, Delaware? I have that in my, I have the map of Delaware in my mind. That map is also false. There's no such thing as that map, actually. It's a human construction. There's no border between Canada and United States in reality. We have created this border. There's actually, sometimes people, they want to build this wall and everything, for the, Trump wants to build the wall, right? So you want to actually build a physical border. But that's a man-made construction also, right? The fact of the matter is that we have constructed reality that is psychologically constructed reality out of our own ahankar and divisiveness. The reality is not divided ever. It's never divided. Just like the gold in the gold shop, the different ornaments. They look like as if they're all separate, but it's all gold only. The reality is never divided. Sachin saying this is a name, Sachin. That's just a name. That's just a linguistic vibrational sound given by my mother, given by the mother of this body. I cannot even say my mother. I can say given by the physical, biological mechanism that I'm calling my mother who has given birth into, through her biological mechanism, this biological mechanism. There's no me or you, there's no mother, there's no father, there's nothing. All of that is totally false from the Paramarthika Satyam point of view. कोई किसी का ही नहीं है, कोई मदर नहीं है, कोई फादर नहीं है, कोई ब्रदर नहीं है, कोई रिलेटिव नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है. It's scary idea, but my God, this is ये सब जो ज्ञानी है, who are ज्ञानी, they see, they can see this. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to start running around saying, well, you're not my father, you're not my mother, you're not this, you're not. I said, not that kind of foolishness. That is there. Like, maintain that. But that has to be maintained. That is why Vedanta even says Vyavharika Satyam. But when you are seeing the reality, Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivo. मैं कौन हूँ? मैं शिव हूँ, मैं दिव्य हूँ, मैं ब्रह्म हूँ, मैं आनंद हूँ. Not Sachin and his limited thing. Sachin and the limitation also is real, but it's a relative reality. It has its glory, and but it's a lila. It is a play of Maya. That's all. The goldsmith fashions the gold into 1,000 different ornaments. It is a play of his skill. But the gold is never affected by that. The gold he hai. Okay, on that basis, let's stop here. Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Tameva Mata Chipita Tameva Bandusha Sakha Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Hrim Swaha. Om Shri Radha Krishna Parnamastu.